Greetings, Leo and Leo rising. This is your Western forecast for August 2025. This month we're having a rare, very positive planetary alignment of the four outer planets, all in harmony with each other, especially harmonizing towards the planet Uranus that just went into Gemini. So that's where I want to start with the bigger picture, and then we'll get to more of these personal planets and how it's impacting you in August. The Uranus is about revolutionary, progressive, futuristic energies. It's in the sign of Gemini now for the first time, went in last month, once every 84 years. So Uranus in Gemini can be a lot of progressive new ideas, new insights, new technologies. The Pluto, transformational Pluto, is in an air sign, in throwing a harmonious aspect to Uranus and Gemini, an air sign, and Saturn and Neptune are in Aries, fire sign. Fire and air are quite compatible. So that's where I want to start with. There's this tremendous new awakening. Now you could be unfolding this energy for the next 7 years that Uranus is in Gemini, but there's some kind of aha moment, some new insight, new opportunities that could be coming in this month. Uranus in Gemini. Gemini is 11 signs past Leo. The first, when I'm describing this whole bigger picture of your life path, the 11th deals with your long-range goals and dreams and aspirations. And then to have once every 84 years, Uranus in Gemini, but this month being supported by the other outer planets, then you could be really seeing the possibilities of your future, of all your goals and dreams could all of suddenly have all this great new insight. Now, the 11th house also represents friendships and networking and group activities. So you could also be getting involved with some type of, often a community, an organization that's very involved with technology. It's the 11th house of friendships. You might be finding yourself being more attracted to very brilliant or very unusual, eclectic friendships. Now, I'll get more into that later and have to look at, well, what are these other outer planets they're doing to fill in this big picture to really support that futuristic, progressive Uranus in your 11th house of your goals and your dreams. But let's start with the sun's in Leo. And this is the sun's in Leo the first 3 weeks. It's always starting a whole new cycle. Most of you, it'll be either your birthday or the sun in Leo is crossing over your Leo rising sign, starting a new cycle. So just having the sun in Leo, you're shining, you're feeling more outgoing, more extroverted. Now Mercury is the planet of communications, what you're thinking about, what you're planning. Mercury's in Leo, but Mercury went into Leo in your first house of being very sociable or really thinking about new ventures on June the 26th. Then it started to slow down and retrograde to reevaluate, revise on July the 17th through August the 10th. So after August the 10th, for most of you, you would have had more clarity, more focus, with more confidence, with important decisions, Mercury, to move forwards, because the Mercury is in Leo in your first house of new beginnings. But this is when you could be really focused on, with that sun in your first house, of leadership, of visibility, Now, Venus is the planet of relationships and desire and romance and creativity, because it's the goddess of beauty and love in mythology. Venus is in Cancer from July the 30th till August the 25th, when it goes into Leo. When Venus goes into Leo into September, a very social time, a very pleasurable time. Now, Jupiter is in Cancer from June of 2025 till June of 2026. I've been talking about this for you for the last several months. Jupiter in Cancer, it's an exalted sign, so the best of Jupiter. And Venus could just really enjoying the ride. Now, in the 12th house can be spiritual retreats or pulling away and doing a lot of studying or researching. But when it comes socially, the Venus that deals with relationships in the 12th house. Now the Jupiter is is really kind of expanding your social needs, but the 12th house is very private. Now where this can work out, where it's not a contradiction, is if you were involved in a spiritual community, so that would be the 12th house, Venus and the Jupiter. So you could be really just keeping your focus on socializing with people within the spiritual community. But on another level, the Venus wants to be more low key in that 12th house, the last house, before you go into September, and it gets very social. But the Jupiter is bringing a lot of optimism and abundance to that Venus. So you're not going to feel lonely. You may want to just be with your spiritual friends, that's the 12th house, or with just one or two friends, or your significant other, your loved one, and keeping it very low-key and very private. So you may just want to go off with you and your partner to a spiritual retreat, or to any place, go into nature, get away from all the noise of society and the busyness of traffic. So it can be a very loving, sociable time, but on a very low-key level. Now, before I go further, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. Mars is the warrior planet. And it's a 2-year cycle. It's going into Libra, which is an air sign, good for Leo, from August the 6th till September the 21st. So about every 2 years, for about 6 weeks, assertive, aggressive, dynamic Mars goes into Leo, which is your 3rd house sector, because Libra is 3 signs past Leo. The 3rd has a lot to do with, there's a lot of restlessness with traveling, going away for every weekend, a lot of this domestic traveling. That's one example of the 3rd house. The 3rd house can also be learning. It's the sector of communications and studying. And Mars, you might be feeling this real drive and passion for learning new work skills. Now, the Sun will leave Leo on August the 22nd for 1 month till September the 22nd, go into Virgo. Virgo is the 2nd sign past Leo. So with the sun in Leo, the first 3 weeks, you could be thinking about where you're going to go, what are your plans, what are your goals for the coming year from Leo, from August through August. So you could be looking at, your long range plans for the year. But then the sun goes into Virgo, and now your focus is on how to monetize, because the second sector is about income. So the sun could be putting a real spotlight on how to monetize these new ventures. And the Venus-Jupiter could also be good in the shadow sector for studying, just really enjoying being by yourself and doing a lot of studying. But when that Venus goes into Leo on August the 25th, you're going to be a lot more social, and you could be looking for new work with the sun shining in the second house of income, or you could be spending more money. And with Mars in the third, that could be a lot of buying and selling, that's the third, but also traveling, but have more like weekend trips and spending monies. Now, let's go back so that Uranus is really awakening very favorably for your 11th house, and of friendships, of networking, of being involved with groups, with community, with organizations. All of that could start to really become more awakened in your life. But let's start with Pluto. Transformational Pluto is in Aquarius. I've been talking about this almost every month, because Pluto's a 243-year cycle. Pluto's now in Aquarius, which is the sign opposite Leo. The opposite sign represents the significant other, whether it's a business partner, your spouse, your significant other. And Pluto will be there, so major changes going on with relationships. There could be a whole overhaul to reinvent the partnership, or to let it go, or to have it reborn. Neptune and Saturn will be aligning in Aries. Aries is 9 signs past Leo. Neptune is the dream, the vision. Saturn, and all this harmonious energy to support it, Saturn is stabilizing and grounding and making the vision of Neptune become more real. It's in the 9th house. The vision, the dream with 9th house could go from anywhere from going back to school and getting a higher degree, or traveling the world. But that traveling the world could also be described as publishing, media, marketing, to spread yourself, your ideas out to the world. And that Uranus in Gemini is in that 11th of all new goals, all new networking, friendships. So in summary, with the sun in Leo the first 3 weeks, Mercury's in Leo till September the 2nd. A lot of new ideas, a lot of new beginnings. And now with this major emphasis to Uranus in your 11th, you're really looking at your future goals and dreams and aspirations. And it could very much be involved with the Saturn-Neptune of being able to achieve your dreams, to be able to manifest your goals, that deals with the 9th house, from publishing or media or marketing or getting a higher degree. And some of you just want to travel the world, or maybe having a business that's importing and exporting. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading, or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next time, be safe and well.